Hey guys, it's Nika or Nika Bunny Sings, or whatever you want to call me that isn't offensive, and today we are doing a fun Eden run, which we might have 2 of these in a row, considering I am filming 3 videos in one night. It just might make it a little bit easier for me. I did do one challenge, so that'll be going up. I actually thought that was going to be today's video, but I got some good feedback from my last video that my webcam was too big, which I already filmed that video, so there will be one more video my webcam's too big. I apologize. I didn't realize. I just didn't realize because a lot of the screen was kind of taken up. But also that we wanted to hear a story time about some like friend drama story time. So we're gonna tell those while we play the game. So I want to preface this by saying that if you watch my video and you're like, oh, this story could be me, or this story might be somebody I know, please do not comment any names or any locations or anything that could possibly allude to who it's about. I have no ill will towards anybody. I wish everybody that used to be in my life peace, love, and happiness. I want nothing but the best for everybody. Even if I don't want you in my life, it doesn't mean that I don't want you to have a good life. I don't want any drama. I don't want anybody to feel attacked or personally whatever. I'm going to leave all names out. I'm not even going to make up names that could be close because your brain, I feel like, subconsciously does that. So any stories I tell on here, if I tell many, I might only tell 1 or 2. I think I only have like 1 or 2 in my head that I can think of. They will be just for fun. Everything is for fun. Nothing is serious. Nothing is an attack. It's not serious like that. Please don't take it that way. Let's get into the fucking run. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Comment. Let me know what you think down below at the end of the video. And like the video. And let's get going. This is a shitty fucking start. Well, my active item is a shitty start. Everything else is actually pretty good. I have pretty decent tiers, decent damage. My shot speed's alright. My luck's not too bad. And my range is actually not too bad. So, but it's actually, you know what? I'll say we got a pretty good start. I just don't like the toilet flushing thing. I think it's lame, but that's okay. Everything's okay. All right. Glaucoma. We're gonna take it just because we can. The first story that I want to talk about is a story where this person was not particularly my friend per se, and I think you'll realize a lot of people in my life that I considered my friends were not my friends just because they didn't treat me well, which again, there's no hard feelings, there's no ill will, whatever the case. Whatever. I'm not trying to say that people, well, you know what I mean? Like, if you watch my videos and you know me, everybody knows that my friends were not the greatest. I think even my friends, who might not admit it, knew that they weren't the greatest. They didn't treat me the greatest. We never really did things that were in my interest. I wasn't in the best of friend groups. We had great moments. I loved my friends very deeply, and we had times where things were great. But when it came down to the nitty-gritty of things, nobody really knew what was going on in my life. Nobody knew the things that I was going through, and nobody cared to really ask or wanted to know. And at a certain young age, that makes sense. But as we got older, I gotta say, man, like, I didn't have the best of friends. And so the reason why I have so many fucking crazy stories is because my friends were not that great. Love them. I actually still have a lot of love for all of them. They just couldn't be there for me. And it was easier to shun the girl that was shunned than to stick up for the girl that was shunned. You know what I mean? It was just all easier. So it did get a little bit better in high school. I will say my friends got a little bit better, but I still went through some shit and I have a lot of trust issues. But regardless, so the first video, bitch, can I figure out what's going on? The first story that I'm going to talk about that happened on my birthday. So I was actually supposed to spend the day with one of my old friends for my birthday. They were going to come over, give me gifts, which was really sweet. They did a great job. They went out of their way and they really fucking killed the gift giving game. I will give them that. Then we get slapped. They did a great job. They gave me a dress that I wore for years and years and years. And, they did a good job with that. And then the plan was to go to the mall and then go to the movies. Very simple, not something I got to do all the time, so it was really exciting for me, it was a good time. It was supposed to be a good time. This friend asks if she can bring her boyfriend, and I am not one of those girls. I'm not saying one of those girls, like, if you don't want your friend's boyfriend to come, that you're a bad person. That's not true. I'm just saying, like, to me, I am not one of the girls that cares. If you want your boyfriend to come, I understand how exciting it could be to see your boyfriend, especially at that age. Box of Spiders is significantly better. And so I was like, fuck yeah, your boyfriend can come. It's totally fine. We can all hang out. I have no issue with that. And she was like, oh, it's going to be my boyfriend and his friends. And I was like, okay, that's fine, you know? I wasn't a very big group person. I didn't really like being in groups. I didn't like to be, I didn't like a lot of attention. I didn't like a lot of those things. So I was a little anxious, but I was happy to oblige. And I figured the more the merrier, really. We could just have more people who say happy birthday. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, in my head, it was going to be an okay time. So we get to the mall. And, you know, their boyfriend comes, and, you know, it got a little boring. They were kind of just loving each other, which is fine. Young love, it happens. I was a little bored, but that's okay. We went to the mall. We didn't have a horrible time. I got a little bit of food, you know, hung out with my friend. And then his friends came. And now her boyfriend was okay. He was a little awkward, a little weird. I do believe he actually ended up apologizing for this later on, which is funny. Like, funny in the sense of, like, it's funny that he remembered enough to be like, hey, sorry about that time, that was fucking shitty. But he was okay. He was awkward, a little edgy, definitely had a bit of a temper. It seemed like if they argued or disagreed at all, it turned into some very emo shit, which makes sense for teens. But his friends were fucking, I don't know, baboons. They sucked. His friends were not good. And they were racist. And so what happened was, we were at the mall, and they weren't the nicest. I'll say that. They didn't say the nicest things. They didn't treat me that well. A lot of them didn't talk to me. And I was kind of confused at first, like, what the fuck did I do? It is quite literally my birthday, and I allowed you to come, but okay. And so I was a little peeved, just because I was like, you know, I don't expect much. I'm not a big, like, oh, it's my birthday, I better whatever kind of girl. But, like, if you are going to join in on somebody else's birthday celebration, perhaps at least express gratitude and say happy birthday. Anything that makes sense. But instead they made N-word comments and chicken jokes. And when it came time, I was born in February, so it was very cold, to get from the mall to the movie theater, which was walking distance, but very cold and hard to do in the winter, especially for me when I get hives in the cold. I was going to get into their car. Everybody was piling into their, you know, her boyfriend's friend's car, and we were going to go to the movie theater, and they didn't let me in. And their reasoning was that I was in N-word and I ate a lot of chicken. They don't let chicken eating N-words in their car, and they were making fun of me, and they drove off, and she got in the car with them. So instead of walking with me or being like, you know, I'm not going to stand for that, or don't treat my friend that way, she just got in the car, and that was it. That was the choice. And so luckily I had already called another friend, because I could feel that the night was not going the way that I wanted it to. I could feel that it wasn't going to go super, super well. So I was like, maybe she can hang out with me. You can have your boyfriend and his friends. My other friend can come. It'll be a good time. Then I won't feel as left out. And, you know, she was okay with that. I don't know if that ended up upsetting her at all. But it doesn't really matter, because I didn't really have much else to go to work with there. So me and my other friend that did come to the rescue at that time, we walked to the movie theater by ourselves. It was freezing cold. And by the time we got to the movie, it had been realized that nobody had nobody had bought tickets. So it wasn't up to me to buy the tickets. It was my birthday. But nobody had bought tickets. Nobody had any ID or anything to get into the movie that we wanted to see, which I didn't realize even needed ID because I was not in the loop. And so we went to the movie theater, and everything kind of just crumbled, and everybody started to just go home. And I was like, this wasn't the time that I was expected to go home. I don't know if anybody can pick me up right now. And my friend was kind of like, you know, tough. So it sucked. It sucked. It sucked being made fun of. It sucked that my friend kind of didn't give a shit. They were definitely joining in on some of the jokes. They were more than happy to reap the benefits, reap the cool points by being I don't know, an aggressive racist maybe, and it sucked that I was left to kind of hang. I'm pretty sure my other friend gave me a ride home, meaning like if my other friend wasn't even there, I don't even know how I would have gotten home because I didn't have a ride. That wasn't part of the plan. And so that definitely sucked. There was some drama. We didn't really fight about it because I was so timid. I kind of just let it go and complained about it, like, to my other friend, just upset that I was treated the way that I was, and then that was it. There was really no other repercussions. Kind of just went on with my life, and rightfully so. Like, what are you gonna do? Fucking kill the person? But, you know, it sucked. And I definitely never trusted them again with a birthday. I realized that my birthday was not the important priority. Holy shit, my speed! But it was the boys that were around, which I understand. Boy craze is very much a thing for young girls, so I totally get it. It definitely did suck. And it was definitely not an enjoyable birthday. I really didn't get much out of it except for the gifts, which were great, and gifts are thoughtful, and I think she put a lot of time and money and effort into those gifts, and her parents were nice to let her do that, and she really wanted to make my birthday special. I think the intention was there. I think the execution was fucking not. One really silly one I have that came from high school, and the only reason why I mention it is because it was such a big fucking fallout for nothing. And I really do mean for fucking nothing. Like, I have autism, but even before I was diagnosed, it was very obvious and clear that I was different and didn't say things right all the time and was kind of awkward and wasn't 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, not in a shitty way. I just wasn't 100%. Anyways, my friends were getting costumes for Halloween. And at the time, back in the day, if you Googled slutty costumes, that's what would come up. Like, we called them, I mean, me and my other friends called them slutty costumes and had, like, no issue with it. Like, it was just, oh, I'm doing a slutty costume this Halloween. You don't call them that much anymore, but this is, like, the 2010s. So, like, everything was different and people said different things. And, like, I don't think that's particularly not politically correct regardless. Because I don't think, like, dressing slutty for Halloween is a fucking bad thing. I think that's, like, something that people want to do, and if you want to do that, good for you, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's such a non-problem. But regardless, my friends picked out these, like, very sexy police officer or something Halloween costumes, and I was like, oh, they're going for the slutty costumes this year? Like, I was shocked because my friends are not like that, and I said it very casually, very friendly, with no malice or anything. You know what I mean? Like, it was just another conversation point. And one of my other friends edited I guess they must have edited the text I sent, which they were notorious for doing. So they figured out how to edit screenshots of text and make it look very convincing. So I think that's what happened, because honestly I don't even get how this blew the fuck out of proportion with the way that me and my friends sorry, with the way that me and my friends talk to each other. I never really understood how the fuck this blew out of proportion so bad. But I think she edited a text or something, and then everybody was really angry at me that I said that their costumes were slutty. And I was like, no, I called them like the type, like the slutty costumes, like, you know, where you like dress all slutty and you're trying to look slutty for Halloween. Again, it was just a fucking thing, like a sexy, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was not a bad intention thing. And I apologized. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was going to offend you. I don't have to call them that. I can just say, like, whatever you want. Like, it's fine. I just meant, like, it was very provocative and revealing and not something that, you know, like, we usually did it for Halloween. We really didn't. And I was like, I can, you know, I was like, if you Google it, that's what comes up. I just, honestly, I went by Google. I apologize. I immediately said sorry. Like, the second somebody was like, hey, I don't like that you called them slutty costumes, I was like, oh, I'm fucking sorry. I would have never thought about it. That was my train of thought, you know? I would have never thought about it. I didn't think about it. To me, that's what they were called. That's what I heard everybody on YouTube say, and, you know, the memes and Instagram and, you know, Google, and I just was like, okay, that's fine. But my friends didn't like that. That's also fine. You don't have to like, you know, things that I say or everything that I do, and that's fine. And you think it would end there. You would think you would be like, okay, she didn't mean to be offensive. Like, she was just trying to described the costume. I thought it was gonna look good. I said that. I apologized for my little snafu. I said, you know, whatever. And instead of that being the end of it, it was like a group chat was made. Okay, they were all very, very, very angry that I said that their costumes were slutty, which I didn't say that. I said that they were slutty costumes as in the category. Not that I thought that they were, you know... It's like weird. It's like how you call your friend a bitch, and it's funny, and they're like, okay, that's my bitch. But if somebody else were to call your friend a bitch, they'd be being a dick. But it was like that. Like, I'm not calling you slutty like the way somebody who's a stranger might call you slutty. I'm describing a type of costume that you're choosing to wear in the way that I know how to. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so different. But I guess it needed a group chat. And then for, like, literally 2 weeks, I think. Quite literally 2 weeks, we barely spoke. And I was like... And they were like... You know, like, people were like, what's your side? And I was like, I don't have a side. I apologize for saying slutty. Most people understood what I meant. So it was like, okay, you know, whatever. They just didn't like that. I was like, I'm more or less mad that there was like a group chat made about this and that I haven't been spoken to for weeks over something so unbelievably fucking silly and ridiculous. Like, it's not, and it isn't like my friends were known for being slut-shamed. It's not like they had ever talked to me about that making them uncomfortable. They weren't promiscuous people. It's not like they were known in the school for sex. It wasn't like there was any, like, and I was abused, and I had sexual assault in my life, and so I never know where trauma is coming from, but I can say, like, there was no way for me to know, unless they were hiding something significant that happened in their childhood, that slutty would set them off so bad. I had no idea. And so I just got fucked out of my friends for a couple of weeks. I'll at least finish the story. And my controller disconnected. I just got fucked out of my friends for a couple of weeks. And to this day, I still don't think I understand. Only because, like, to me, context matters, right? Like, yes, I said the wrong thing. And yes, I shouldn't have said what I said. If it was going to offend them, I had no idea. Like, if I just, like, to make the point that I'm trying to make here. Like, it's just a commonly used phrase that people just do use. And I think and like, even before now, where you might find it replaced with sexy, people just said, oh, I'm doing a slutty costume this year. It was just not thought of the same way, which doesn't make it okay. That's like people saying they could say the N-word and it's fine. It's not. I mean, to be honest, those two things aren't comparable in the slightest, especially when you're talking to who is supposed to be your close friends. But it just was so shocking to me how offended they were when, like, my friends were not PG-13. My friends were not at all politically correct. There were things that they shouldn't have been saying back then that they knew they shouldn't have been saying, that they were still saying to begin with, including the N-word. And so to me, it was like, I completely understand having an issue with something if it affects you, but, like, you're not gonna make me out to be like a horrible person when I apologized, explained myself, and took responsibility right away, and then I don't get talked to for 2 weeks. And I'm like, what about all the times you called me, like, da nigga, but I said nothing to you? You know what I mean? Like, it was just weird energy, and it just seemed like they were talking so much shit, and people were figuring out that I called my friends slutty, so people were being mean to me, and I was like, I didn't call my friends slutty. That's not what happened. Like, it was just so fucking weird, and some of my other friends started taking sides, even though they shouldn't have been taking sides, because there was really no side to take. There was just offense to be taken, maybe a little bit. It was so fucking bizarre to me. And it still is to this day. Like, I feel like it was just so contrived and very, very unnecessary. And I was very confused as to where all this vitriol was coming from. But you know what? It's in the past now. It's still annoying. Like, you know those things that are still fucking annoying to you? Yes, that shit still annoys me. Like, really, bitches? You bitches really were dramatic for no fucking reason. But that's okay. We're not there anymore. We're all grown now. Don't matter now. But it was, you know, in hindsight, it's funny to get fucking ignored by your friends for 2 weeks for something like that. So it kind of resolved. Like, they were just like, what you said was shitty and you're shitty for that, but, like, whatever. And I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like a whatever thing, not like a we forgive you or, like, I forgive you or whatever the case. It was like a you're shitty, and I was like, I already said sorry for saying something that offended you, even though we've all said this phrase before. That was the other thing that perplexed the shit out of me. We had called other girls' costumes slutty, and not in a derogatory way. Like, oh, they're wearing a slutty costume this year, or their whole friend group wore slutty costumes. It was just so fucking strange to me. Like, my friends would pick fights with me for no reason. And it was very much it felt very much like they needed a reason for me not to be around. Whether or not it was because my reputation was not that great, or a rumor was going around about me, or whatever the case, or that it was just somebody to punch on. I don't know what the case was, but I do know that it was annoying. And so anyways, I died again. I wonder if I'm gonna have 3 fucking videos in a row where I just don't get through the run. Is that gonna be the case, guys? Let's see. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. So this is actually gonna be Thursday's video. The next video that keeps saying it's Thursday's video is Friday's video. And I think tomorrow morning I'll actually have time to record Saturday's video. So, I hope you all have a good, fantastic rest of your Thursday night. Thank you so much for watching. It's been Nika. I love you all. I will talk to you soon. Make sure you like and subscribe if you liked the video. And if you want to hear any more stories of any of the crazy things that have happened in my life, let me know and I'll tell you. Love you all. Peace.